to deal with someone who says that's so gay. Outsmart them.
This party is like so gay.
Totally.
Excuse me, but did you ladies know the word gay used to mean happy or excited? Then it became a word used to describe gay people. Then somehow it came to mean dumb or stupid, which is how you just used it, which is not very nice.
Ew, that guy is in the football league.
When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off. Learn more at thinkbeforeyouspeak.com. Brought to you by Glisten and the Ad Council.
When you fall that far, we lose our way. We get back up again. It's never too late to get back up again. And one day, you gon' shine again. You may be knocked down, but not up. You gon' shine again. It's never too late to get back up again. You may be knocked down, but not out forever.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a successful motivational speaker and trusted life coach, Nancy knows how you can live the life you want regardless of the challenges you face. Although she's legally blind, Nancy's mission is to inspire others to overcome obstacles and live life full out. Call in at 800-333-0001 to ask Nancy for advice on topics such as relationships, finances, business, health, and more. Just call 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today from New York to LA and everywhere in between. I hope everybody is having a very exciting day, and I mean that very much so, because the thing is Living Full Out is about every day being exciting. I don't care if you're doing laundry, make it an exciting day of laundry. If you're got plans with a friend, I want you to embrace that and really soak up that time with them. Living Full Out is about grabbing life with both hands and really putting yourself out there. Now, we all know that life does give us curveballs. Life gives us those unexpected twists or turns. And trust me, I've been there as well. Going legally blind due to retinitis pigmentosa has been a huge curveball in my life. And everybody listening today, we've all had those moments in life where we've been challenged. Maybe it's been a relationship challenge or financial challenge or just overall life stress. When we have those moments in our life, yes, we might cry, we might break down, we might get depressed. But true integrity, who we are at the core, our ability to live full out, comes from those moments. If every day was just blissful and happy and we were just moving along and it was the sunshine every day, and we didn't have that challenge, we wouldn't be able to see that inner strength, those survival skills that we have inside ourselves. So for me, when I was given the news that I was going to go blind by 40, and that was when I was 16, you better believe I could have crawled into my shell, packed away my dreams, and said, well, I guess I'll play small in life. But I didn't do that. I pressed ahead. I went after my dreams, and several of my dreams came true. Some did not. That's, again, just what life is about. But what I have learned over the course of my life is that you have to have humor in moments that are stressful. It is really important. Learn to laugh at yourself from time to time. There's been times that I've walked outside, and I kid you not, I've had my shirt inside out. Yep, you better believe it. When I finally realized it, it was embarrassing, but I chalked it up to good humor. I always tell people in my world, you're never going to have gray hair. You're never going to have wrinkles. And, when you can add humor to our lives, when we can make fun of ourselves, when we can make a situation that seems dire or stressful a little bit more uplifting, that's when you bring power back into your lives. When we give the power away to our diseases or conditions or a disability, when we give that power away, it's when we get sad, it's when we play small, it's when we get depressed. But you take your power back when you can find humor in situations, when you can learn the life lessons. And that's what this show is about. The whole community of people that call in during the show and our special highlighted guests, it is all meant to inspire you. And I know I get inspired each week by knowing that, we're all the same. We all put those pants on the same way. We all, eat the same way. And the thing about that that's kind of funny is that while we all do things similar, we handle situations differently. And again, that's okay as well. But this is your time to get tapped into motivation. We're going to be going to the phone lines. We have Kaylee on the phone. Kaylee, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hi, Kaylee. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, share with us today, what is going on in your life?
Well, I've been single for a really long time now, for about 5 years, and counting. And I'm really unsure of how to really put myself out there, and I'm not interested in online dating, which seems to be the go-to.
I hear you. You know, online dating is great. And for all those that find relationships doing it, awesome. Trust me, I'm being legally blind and not being able to see people's pictures. It makes it tough for me too. So I get that. You know, there's nothing quite like meeting somebody in an organic, special way. And that is possible each and every day that you walk out your door. You just have to continue to be open to it. And part of being open to a relationship coming in is to, again, retain that power within yourself, knowing that, you know, you're someone that somebody should date, right? So what are those qualities about yourself that you admire?
Well, I'm pretty ambitious, which I think is a good thing. That's what I look for in someone. I would say I think I'm a pretty cool person. Like, I'm easy to talk to. I like to have a good time. I have a good sense of humor. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty friendly and stuff. Okay. Now, here's the reason why I ask you those questions is because when we talk about ourselves, sometimes, not everybody, there are those people who love to talk about themselves, but sometimes we go to that humble place where, you know, well, I'll say one or two things about myself, but then I'm going to just kind of not say much more because I don't want to look like I'm all about myself. But the thing is when you are out there meeting somebody, you are your best ally, your best co-partner in that way. So when you walk out that door, yes, you want to be that ambitious person, that loving person, that talkative person, and let those qualities shine through. They say opposites attract. So perhaps there's going to be somebody who doesn't have those qualities that says, wow, when I'm with Kaylee, I feel so alive. I feel so free. She makes my world fun. You know, I guess the question I have for you is, do you tend to date men or that are similar to you or different? Well, I haven't dated in a while. I would think someone similar would work because I like to talk a lot. So if I'm with someone that's a little quiet, then it gets awkward because I feel like I'm like, you know, probing them to engage in a conversation, which is never fun because it feels like an interview.
Well, I do get that. So one thing that you might want to consider is just switch it up. Wherever you've been going, different venues, parties, bars, churches, whatever it may be, switch it up. Do something completely different. There's a site that I go to sometimes to meet people called meetup.com. I don't know if you've ever tried that or if you have that in your area. You can try athletic groups. You can join social groups, wine groups, kids groups, you know, everything that you'd possibly be interested in, writing, book clubs. And I challenge you to do something different than you're doing right now. Yes, it might feel uncomfortable because you're used to certain venues, you're used to talking to certain guys that are maybe as lively as you. May not be as that person that wants to travel with you, but they say, baby, where do you want to go? Let's go there. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
you know, consider shaking it up a bit. What you might also want to do is look at relationships in your life that are successful. Sometimes those are those who are older in our life. People who may have been married 40 plus years or have had maybe a second relationship that went really well, maybe after a first marriage that didn't. And kind of interview those people. What did they learn? What did they do differently? How did they shake it up? Okay? So I can feel the energy moving in that beautiful mind of yours. So that's what this is all about. So, you know, I'd love for you to stay in contact with us. You know, call us up, let us know how date number 1 goes, good or bad, because that's what this is meant for, right? We're meant to learn from each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try those things.
But I believe in you, and just go out there and live full out. Be that shining light. Again, I believe that, this is just my intuitive hunch, I guess. I think that the man in your life is waiting for you to be his energy, to be his light. And I really believe that you would be so great with somebody who could just romance you from dawn to dusk, and somebody who, you know, hold your dreams in their hands, you know, somebody who will treat you great, open your door. You know, that is not always that talkative guy. Sometimes that's the guy that's the silent wonder. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So keep in touch with us, and we believe in you, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you for all the advice. I'm going to try those things out.
Awesome. Sounds great. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. So Kaylee brought up such a great question. And, you know, that's just in the realm of dating. But what if we're trying to make a career change? What if we're just bored with our life and we want to do something new? Just like I told Kaylee, you got to shake it up. Life is not meant to get boring. It's not meant to be sterile. It's meant to be lived. You know, think about the fact that when you were born into this world, you were the one that was born. All these other lives that could have come before you, you know, it's a big idea when we think about it that way, but you were the one that was born. You were the one that was born with the natural gifts and talents and personality that you have. All the people in your world, when you consider even the challenges you've had, they all layer on each other to help you to evolve and become the dynamic person that you are. And it's that person that will have the love relationship of your life. It's that person that will make those dreams that you have come true. Or that's that person that will push yourself to do things that you didn't even know that you love doing. So step out there today. Think of something new that you can try. And I'm going to do the same, and I will report next week what I committed to. But all of us have the ability to live full out, and it's just making that commitment each and every day. We have a very special guest coming up here, Kevin Sullivan. His story is not only inspiring and touching to me, but honestly, what he overcame in his life to become who he is today is just outstanding. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If you had to choose between the buffalo and the giraffes, between a flower or an elephant, what would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a 1,000,000-year-old beach? Between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Would you make the right choice? Would there be a right choice? Now there's a way to help. Not just one, but all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with.
This ad sponsored by Ad Council and EarthShare.
Hi, I can't come to the phone right now because I'm abusing my children. Not just verbally, but physically. I'll get back to you.
If only child abuse was this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call Child Help at 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit childhelp.org. We've helped millions of people help millions of children. All calls are anonymous and confidential, so call 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit childhelp.org. Child Help. Trust your instincts. Brought to you by Child Help and the Ad Council.
Later, much later, we heard something. We didn't breathe for listening. Then footsteps on the back porch, creeping, then more confident. After all, nobody was home. A hand closed on the knob on the screen door to the kitchen and found it latched. We heard a little sawing sound as a file began to slice through the screen wire. Grandma reached down for something in her sewing basket. Through the darkness, I managed to notice Grandma's rocker was rocking and she wasn't in it. She was standing over me. "Keep just behind me," she whispered. I followed her across the room into the kitchen. Now we were by the door, and I heard the scuffle of heavy feet in there on the crinkly linoleum. Grandma turned back to me. Under my nose, she struck a wooden match with her thumbnail. She touched the match to something in her other hand. It sizzled. Then she leaned down and rolled it into the invisible kitchen. Explore new worlds. Find out what happens next by reading the book A Long Way from Chicago by Richard Peck. For other great book ideas, visit literacy.gov. A message from the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. A professional motivational speaker, Nancy can help you overcome obstacles and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. We are having a great show today. That was a great call from Kaylee in our first segment. And, really living full out is about shaking it up. It's about putting yourself out there, opening yourself up to new experiences. Now, the realistic side of it all is that life is going to give us some tough days, some days that are just like, sometimes we don't even want to continue. We just want to call it a day and go to bed. When those days happen, maybe you just need to do that. Just say, you know what? Today was a tough day. I'm going to start over tomorrow. I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and work out or hold to my commitments or have a really great day at work. Whatever that ends up being, remember that you have the control. You have the ability to override a bad day, to override making one bad day become a bad week. How we handle situations in our life, that says so much about who we are at the core. There's a lot of people in my life, like myself, that I know who have lost their vision. They're visually impaired, or maybe they've gone blind, and it's tough. And it's tough to feel your way through life, figuring out what am I meant to do when I wanted to do X, Y, and Z, and now I can't see. I can't do what I wanted to do. That really resonated with me. But what I realized is, okay, Nancy, you can't see. Pick a career or find something that doesn't involve your eyes. So guess what? I'm a radio show host, right? That doesn't involve seeing. I'm a professional speaker. That doesn't rely on my seeing. I built my world so that I don't have to see to be successful. So I just want you guys to consider that as we go along in the show today. What changes can you make in your life to set yourself up for success? Now, our next guest is like success to the 10. Honestly, he is amazing. And he's going to share with us his story. And there's some very touching moments. And then there's moments where I am so proud of him that I want to give him a big hug through the mic. So I'd like to welcome Kevin Sullivan. Hi, Kevin. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi, Nancy. How are you today?
I am great. So I was just telling our listeners that I am a huge fan of yours because, wow, when I think about your story, it just really warms my heart, actually, to know that there's people like you out there in the world.
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. So could you take us back a bit? If you could explain to us your condition, what it's called, how it affects your body, that would probably be the best place to start so that everybody has that understanding of your condition.
Yeah, absolutely. I was born with a condition called arthrogryposis. It's a congenital disorder, so I've had it since, from day one. And basically what the disability entails is my muscles, the tissue is fibrous, so it's a different consistency than the average person's. And that causes, contractures in my hands and my feet, and just causes general weakness. But the good thing is it's not a progressive disability. So, how I am now is how I'll always be.
Mm-hmm. And that actually is a great thing. I know for me, my vision keeps changing, so I have to keep adjusting. For you, all the skills that you've learned over your life, you have those forever, and that's a great thing.
Yes, exactly.
Now, I imagine growing up as a child, this was not the easiest. You had mentioned to me that you did have a wheelchair even as a small child. You could walk some, but what was growing up like for you, having this condition compared to your other friends?
It was a little different, obviously. I didn't really notice a lot of the changes until, or a lot of the differences, I should say, until middle school. Elementary school, I remember, was pretty easy. The kids were pretty accepting, and then as we grew up, I started to notice the physical differences. Other kids got faster and bigger and stronger, and, I grew, I got taller and all that, but I didn't necessarily get faster or stronger like they did. So that's really where I started to notice it. But yes, I have used a wheelchair my whole life, but I only use it for long distances. You know, I walk around my house, I walk, you know, around the neighborhood, or walk around, you know, like a Walmart or a Target. So it's kind of nice that I don't necessarily have to rely on the wheelchair 100% of the time.
That is nice, and it's there when you need it, which is important because various conditions, people, like I have a good friend with MS, and when she got her wheelchair, it opened up her world. She was able to get places faster, and so it's just nice having that ability. Now, with your condition, obviously there are certain things that you do need help with in terms of, you know, various assistance or aids that you've had. What are some of those times in which you do need someone's help?
Well, on a daily basis, I need help with showering, with eating, with getting dressed, with just, you know, general use of the bathroom. I mean, you know, pretty much all those daily things. You know, there is plenty that I can do on my own, but I definitely need assistance with those things on a daily basis from whether it's my parents or my assistants or whoever's helping me out.
Gotcha. And it's so interesting because how many assistants have you had over your life?
Let's see. The number, man, if you include, you know, my assistants growing up throughout school, it's probably somewhere in the 30s or 40s. It's a lot.
Wow.
You know, and most of that was in college, just because my assistants were also students. So, you know, they would, you know, maybe help me for a semester or two, and then they would go student teach, or some of them would transfer, or things like that would come up.
Right. Now, you know, it's one thing, you know, to have family help. Family is great, and trust me, my family has helped me a lot with my, you know, visual impairment and going legally blind over the years. But, you know, having that conversation, quote, conversation with people, maybe people that you might want to go on a date with, or like a new friend. You know, for me, I used to get very emotional about it because I didn't know how much worse my condition would get. You know, looking backwards, I know you've kind of grown into it now, you know, in your life, but, you know, back in the day, you know, how was that for you in terms of explaining to somebody else who may not have understood your needs?
It's definitely gotten easier as I've gotten older. I know when I was younger, you know, I would go to, you know, get food with friends, and I just wouldn't eat anything. Now, you know, I think going through college and having someone having to constantly help me really just helped, you know, break down that barrier for me, and you know, be willing to ask for help. But it definitely got easier as it got older, though.
If you could go back in time and talk to that younger self, your younger self that chose not to eat anything because you're maybe embarrassed or didn't want to have to ask for help, what would you tell your younger self today?
I would say, you know, don't worry about it. You know, there are plenty of people who are willing to help, even if it doesn't seem like it. You know, you just got to be willing to ask the question. But that's probably what I would say to my younger self.
Gotcha. You know, one of the things that I think is so impressive about your story, too, is we're going to get to college in a bit, because really that's where you flourished. But, you know, the times early on when you would go on dates and stuff, how would you talk to different women? How would you explain that? And, I mean, would you go on a date with your aide and you, or how would that work?
I would, you know, usually it would be with someone who I knew well, just because, you know, I feel like a random person wouldn't really get it. So, you know, if I would ever go on a date, it would be with, you know, someone I knew pretty well that I, you know, had feelings for. And they usually understood. They got it. You know, they knew what I needed help with, and they were fine with it. And I would say, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, did you try to maybe avoid asking new people who didn't know your condition?
Yeah, exactly. Just people I didn't really know that well who didn't quite understand what I needed help with and my disability and what all of that entailed. I would definitely kind of focus more on women that I knew better and just knew how they could best assist me.
Gotcha. And the thing is for everybody listening today, I mean, Kevin is just charming and awesome. Whoever snags you one day is going to be lucky. He is a great guy. But the thing is that, there are those moments in life when we just want to crawl into our shell and we just wish we didn't have the condition we have. I mean, there's lots of times that I say to myself, I just wish I could see, or if I could see, my life would be different. Have you had those moments?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely remember when I transitioned to high school. There was definitely a little bit of a learning curve. Kids can be a little cruel at times, and you just kind of have to adjust to that and just make the best of a bad situation. So, kids at that age, they want to seem cool to their friends. And at the time, I had an assistant who I really wasn't a big fan of. She was kind of old enough to be my grandmother, and it just did not work out well. That only lasted my freshman and sophomore year, and then they hired, I should say, a new assistant for me who was younger, and he was a guy, and he just kind of understood everything better, and that just worked out really well to the point where I was actually in his wedding a couple of years ago.
Wow. You know what, Kevin? You just opened up a can that I can't wait to get back to after this next break, because I can picture you there at your high school cafeteria, you, your grandmother Aid, and all your friends. That would be a tough time. And I'm so glad that, you were able to get through that. But I'm sure you even learned things about yourself in that time. And so when we come back, I want to pick up where we left off. We have to go to a commercial break, but everybody will be right back with more of Kevin Sullivan, and this is the Living Full Out Show.
Ahoy there, matey. How's the fishing this morning?
Shh! You'll scare the fish.
Oh, nonsense. Fishies love the safety pirate. Now tell me, I see you're wearing your life jacket, and that's mighty smart of you. But have you taken a boating safety course?
I have. Now, could you please leave?
So you know to stay alert by not mixing alcohol and boating, don't you?
I do.
But I bet you didn't know it's dangerous to speed on the water. Now, did you, Turbo?
Actually, I knew that.
Well, smarty pants. You seem to know it all, don't you?
Yep. Maybe even more than a safety pirate.
Watch your mouth, sailor!
When you're out on the water this year, make sure you're being safe. Learn the boating rules and watch out for other boaters.
And remember to boat smart. Boat safe.
A message from the National Safe Boating Council.
So I use my computer every day. Not even sure how I get along without it. But I wasn't prepared for a virus. A Trojan, they called it. One night I'm cruising along, and the next night I can't do anything. I was afraid it was going to cost me a fortune. Boy, was I surprised. They had me back up and running the same day I called them. I really like PC Tech Rescue, and you know what? My wallet likes them too.
Are you troubled by computer problems? PC Tech Rescue should be your very next call. Whether the problem is viruses, hardware, software, or any other issue, they can diagnose your problem and have you back up and running fast. With more than 25 years of industry experience, you can be sure you are getting dependable and affordable service. Call today, 484-429-6061, or email us at pctechrescue@gmail.com.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat, and apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a trusted life coach, Nancy will help you overcome setbacks and embrace all life has to offer. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. We are just having such an inspiring show today. I appreciate all the guests that are calling in. Again, we're live. The number is 800-333-0001. And again, call in for any questions that you have. Today, we're talking about overcoming those challenges in our life by taking control back into our life, by making our own decisions on how we want to move our lives forward. And our current guest, Kevin Sullivan, is such a perfect example of that. Kevin, welcome back to the show.
Thank you again for having me, Nancy.
Absolutely. So, we just were talking about your high school experiences in terms of, what you went through in terms of trying to fit in and trying to find your way as your friends were, going off and becoming perhaps more athletic, and you're just trying to find your way as to who you are and all the wonderful talents that you have. And when it was the university that you went to, that's when you really grew. That's when you really kind of took control of your life and found your own aids and put yourself out there in clubs. I'd like to start there. Let's talk about these different aides that you ended up hiring to help you. These were people that would help shower you, feed you, dress you. Where did you find these people?
Well, the beginning of my freshman year of college, we spoke to the disabilities department at the university I attended, and they told me to put a posting on the jobs website just to find, an initial group of aides. And it worked out really well. I used it going into freshman year and going into sophomore year, and I would say each time I got at least 40 to 50 applicants. And I definitely hired some good aides who I'm still friends with today, who I still talk to today. I've been to a few of their weddings. So it definitely worked out well. And then as I kind of went throughout college, I really didn't need to post on the jobs website anymore because I just kind of found people through the grapevine and, through mutual friends and stuff like that. And I would say that method worked out pretty well, and that got me through the last 3 years of my college experience.
Well, I love that. And you were the one that put yourself out there. You're the one who put out the ad, but you found the people that you felt resonated best with what you needed. And again, sometimes I think in life we feel like we're just kind of dealt cards and we have to deal with them. You didn't do that. You found your own support. You interviewed people, a few people that didn't work out, as we talked about previously, and a few that had. Now, during the times that you were in school, you were sharing with me that there were some tough times that, maybe you were with an aide and, you felt like people that were walking by might have talked about you, or just kind of those moments where, internally it's just like, a little gut-wrenching. Can you share with us some of those moments?
Yeah, in high school, for the most part, that happened, every so often. I wouldn't say it was consistent. I wasn't really bullied or anything like that. But I remember my freshman year, I went to go sit with a group of kids that I went to middle school with. I wasn't really great friends with them, but I knew someone who was sitting there. And I remember I sat down and they stood up and walked away. So that one was definitely hard. But I moved past it, and it's funny because I'm actually good friends with two of the people at that table today. So it's funny how things kind of evolve.
And I'm just curious, Kevin, because that is a moment that's really tough. In that moment, what did you say to yourself, or what did you do internally to handle that moment?
I honestly don't remember. It was so long ago. I kind of blocked it out. I just kind of said there's nothing, I can really do about this. I gotta find somewhere, friends who appreciate me and actually would, want me at their lunch table. And it took a little bit, but eventually I did. And I would say overall my high school experience was good. Other than that little stretch at the beginning.
How about in the university years? How did you handle those moments then?
It didn't happen too often again, like I said. But Occasionally, I'd go by and someone would say something, usually on a Friday or Saturday night when they've been a little overserved. But I just kind of just took it in stride. I never really said anything back because I figured if I did, then I was no better than them. But it would be funny because whoever my aide was that was with me, or whoever my friends were that were with me whenever this would happen, would always get really mad and want to say something. So I'd always have to calm them down and make sure they didn't do something that they'd regret.
Well, and you know what? I love that. You really took the high road on those moments. And it sounds like you're just really at peace with any limitations you had. But at the same time, let's talk about the superhero you are. My goodness. For everybody listening today, Kevin not only put himself out there like in a big way. I mean, you were president of your fraternity. I mean, you did really well in school. What would you say was your kind of your secret for how you were able to do so well despite the challenges that you were dealt?
I really just took the mindset of, don't let the disability hinder what I want to do. I wanted to major in radio, and I wanted to broadcast sports in college, and I did. The opportunity to be a founding father of my fraternity came up, and I took it just because I knew a couple people in it, and I figured it would, really help me kind of grow as a person. So really it was just about not saying no to opportunities that I knew would really help me develop both personally and professionally. So that's really just kind of the mindset that I took throughout college.
When you look back at your life, if you had to choose today, having your condition or not, knowing all that you've learned, would you go back and change anything?
Whew, man, that is a really tough one. It would be interesting to see what my life would be like not having a disability, but I think that I've just grown so used to it that, I've built a pretty solid, group of friends and a pretty solid life for myself, even with a disability. And I don't think that's something that I'd really want to change, particularly, just the people I've met. I think other than my family, my friends are definitely pretty meaningful to me, probably because they help me a lot, and they've definitely gotten me through a number of challenges. So I think I would stick with my life the way it is if I had a choice.
That's great, and so in line with the spirit that you are. And I do ask from time to time that question because, like even myself, if I think about having a visual impairment or going legally blind, would I change that? And I don't think that I would. I think that it's allowed me to see life through a different lens. It's allowed me to connect with people in a more enriching way. And so that's why I was so curious to see what you would say, because I'm sure that you have those same really true, valuable connections with people in your life because of that need for assistance over the years.
Yes, absolutely. I would definitely agree with that.
When you consider your future, the great thing is your condition, does not change much over the years. But what fears do you have about that in the future? Are there any?
I guess it would just be, being able to do the things that any other person would want to do, whether that's, live on their own, get married, maybe have kids, travel. I think that's what not necessarily worries me, but is, definitely on my mind as I get older. I definitely want to be able to do those things that my friends do and my family does. So that will definitely be the challenge, I guess, going forward.
And when you have those moments where you have those thoughts, what do you tell yourself in the moment? Because you're quite a motivational person, but we all have those moments where we have those fears that creep in. What do you tell yourself in that moment?
I really just tell myself to take it one day at a time. The only person that you can, or the only thing that you can control is what you do. So you just gotta take it one day at a time and, put yourself in a position where you are able to do these things and really succeed.
And as we kind of close out our interview today, you know, I know in my life, I am appreciative of all the people that have supported me. For all those listening that have assisted you over the years, what would you like to say to them in gratitude?
Well, I definitely wouldn't be the person I am today without them. I owe them everything. I owe them, you know, the reason I graduated college and started my career. You know, I will always be eternally grateful for everything they did for me over the years and just how much they assisted me.
Wow. Well, Kevin, classy to the end. I am telling you, we at the Living Full Out community only want the best for you. And so do keep us informed over the years here as those dreams that you hold for yourself come true. You know, call us, let us know. Let us know about those so that we can cheer you on, okay? And thank you so much for being a part of the show today.
Not a problem. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kevin. So what a great interview. I am telling you, I'm going to take his words of wisdom around with me all day today because honestly, he is a spirit that is going to go on to do great, great things. So as we can see, we all have challenges. We all have disabilities. We all have traumas that occur in our life, those stresses. But just like Kevin, we all have the ability to have a mindset of positivity and motivation, and that is what will carry you through. So as we go into our next segment, I want you to continue to think about what you can do today to move yourself forward. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
You remember that ball game we went to a couple years ago?
Sure.
And how you didn't have enough cash for 2 hot dogs, so you walked with me on your shoulders until we found an ATM? And then when we got back to our seats, we never saw the hot dog guy again.
Well, I don't remember all that.
Yeah, that was an awesome game.
You never know which moments will be the ones they'll remember forever, so take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Medical mistakes claim tens of thousands of lives every year. The healthcare community is working on it, but you can help. When you communicate with your doctor, when you ask more questions, you reduce your risk of suffering a medical mistake. Doctors can't answer if you don't ask. Help reduce your risk. Questions are the answer. Learn the 10 questions you must ask. Visit www.ahrq.gov. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, and the Ad Council.
I'm getting a catcher's mitt.
I'm getting ice skates. I'm getting a devastating flood.
Adults are generous. We're even giving kids global warming, but we can still reduce greenhouse gas pollution. Go to fightglobalwarming.com. Brought to you by Environmental Defense, the Robertson Foundation, and the Ad Council.
The following commercial is sponsored by FeedThePig.org, an organization devoted to helping you save money. We will not entice you with messages like
lowest prices in town, dealer approved, certified pre-owned,
no obligation consultation,
nor will we brag about our
huge selection, enormous variety,
one-stop shopping,
everything under one roof,
or promise
prices reduced up to 75%.
A sale like this can't go on forever. Factory liquidation.
Financing options available.
We will offer no contingencies like
see store for details.
Prices and participation may vary.
Legal exclusions apply.
No purchase necessary.
Or try to convince you that our product will give you
leaner, tighter abs in minutes.
Perfect smile. Porcelain veneers.
Freedom from those painful, embarrassing bunions.
Because we simply want to help you spend smarter and save better. Log on to feedthepig.org. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Living full out is about tapping into your purpose. You know, we're all going to have those moments in our life where we're at that crossroad where do we go left? Do we go right? What do we do? And if we go one direction, was it a mistake? Was it the right direction? Learn to not doubt yourself. Learn to embrace every step you take. Because truly living your purpose is sometimes stumbling, sometimes falling down. And when we get back up, that is when we are surviving. That's when we're at our best. So here's to you living your life full out.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a certified life coach, Nancy can help you to overcome challenges and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello, everybody. This is the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari, and again, we are taking calls today. The number to call in is 800-333-0001. And boy, have we had a great show today. So magical, really. I just feel like I want to go out and work out. I want to eat right. I want to connect with someone I haven't in a long time. And really holding our dreams in our hands, they can come true. We just got to share them with our community, ask for help, and really keep embracing and moving forward each day. That's exactly what Kevin said, our last guest, and boy, is he right. So we're going to go back to the lines. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Good.
So I have a question too.
Yes.
I'm really struggling with having balance in my life, you know, between the kids and the house, and I work full time, and I just can't seem to get to the gym. And I used to be at the gym every day, you know, early in the morning or later at night, and I'm just feeling really sad that I can't have that time for myself. I just can't find it in the day. I mean, there's always someone calling me. Somebody needs me. You know, it's like one more thing, and then it's 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, another day went by.
Well, you know what? There's lots of our listeners are nodding their heads right now saying, yep, me too. I guess, you know, one thing that we always have to ask ourselves, and I feel the same way on days I don't work out, how do you feel right now in your body? Do you feel awake, alive, flexible, young, energetic, or do you feel maybe a little bit sluggish, a little bit tired? How do you feel right now?
Yeah, I feel tired, exactly, because I know I haven't had that time to myself, you know, and worked out and some girlfriends and, you know, just sweated. I need to sweat all the stress out of my life.
Right. So what I've got to ask you a question. What is your favorite food? What do you like to eat the most? Like, oh my gosh, I love blank. What is that?
Actually, I love salad.
You love salad? Well, that is a good thing. I love guacamole.
I know.
And fettuccine Alfredo, but very rarely do I hear salad. But
yeah, no, I love salad. I love it.
Gotcha. So here's the thing. When we think about going to the gym or we think about working out or anything physical because we, quote, can't find the time, or maybe it's end of the day and we're tired and we're like, I'll just do it tomorrow, you have to keep that thirst, keep that hunger in your belly for how it feels to feel that way after you work out. And remembering how you feel right now. It's very much in the mind when it comes to working out or going to the gym. Because if we don't have that pull, if we don't have that desire, if we can't taste it, then we kind of put it aside. It doesn't have a big impact on us. So one thing I'd like to see you do this weekend, you have Saturday and Sunday, is I want you to do something physical. And I want you to do something that is going to make you sweat. And then afterwards, I want you to remember how you feel in that moment. Because it is that feeling that is going to make you want to do it again and again and again. We had a gal on last week on our show, Chris Barta, and she had lost a lot of weight over a very short amount of time, actually, by making this mindset shift. And the thing is, when I asked her, you know, how is it that you haven't, you know, gained weight, you know, after losing all the weight? She goes, I'm never going back. So the thing is you want to have that same intensity. Like when you work out this weekend, and you feel, woo, I feel good, I feel alive, I feel healthy, you want to hold that feeling in your hands and never forget it. Sometimes when I'm nervous or when I'm really happy, I will do something so that I remember that feeling. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I may pinch myself on my palm. So it helps me remember that moment. I may rub my neck in a certain way, but these little triggers in life can sometimes take us back to how we feel in that moment. Is that something that you can do this weekend?
That's a great idea. No, that's a really good idea, and maybe that'll push me out of the house. Instead of doing one more thing for someone else, I'll say, I need to go feel good for myself.
Absolutely, because unless you get yourself to where you're feeling good, over time you may lose more energy, you may injure yourself, and then you can't be your best for all those other people. It won't even matter.
Right, that's a really good point. Exactly. So, like I won't be present. Yeah.
Exactly. So your homework assignment is to do something physical this weekend actually, Saturday, Sunday, and then remember how that feels and never forget it, because you want that every day of your life, that feeling of energy, youth, healthy. That's what you want to feel every day.
Mm-hmm, exactly. I miss that.
Perfect. Well, we know you're going to do it this weekend. Call back next week if you'd like. We'd love to hear how it works out. And thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Take care.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. We're going to have some really big dilemmas in our life, and we're going to have those everyday, daily challenges like, I got to work out and I don't know how to find the energy, the motivation. These are all really big issues that can stem to even bigger dilemmas down the line. I'm so glad all of our callers are calling in today with such great, valuable questions. In fact, we're going to go back to the lines. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So tell us, what's going on today?
Well, I'm in my late or my early 30s, and I've been living with my mom for practically all my life, and I've gotten to the point where I know now that we're in a very codependent relationship. I just need some advice on how to get out of that relationship and kind of just venture out on my own.
Well, and actually that's a great question, and it's interesting. I had a coaching client this week who had a very similar dilemma. The first place you want to start is visioning yourself living in your own place.
Yeah, because I did it before for like a good probably year, and then I moved to California.
And then you came back. Do you have the financial ability to live on your own?
No.
Is that no? Okay, because we always have to find the reason why. So. Yeah. What you want to start to think about is, well, you did it once before, and you know you can do it again. But are you working right now?
No, not right now.
Not right now. Okay.
I have back issues, so it's not plausible for me to. Yeah.
Not easy to work. Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, I have every back issue is different, but I can understand because I have a fracture in my back as well right now, so I understand. But is there with your back issue, is it that can you stand? Is it that it's hard to sit for long periods of time?
Yes.
Okay. Have you considered there's a lot of different jobs that you can do from home? Mm-hmm. There's different job boards that you might want to consider. There's one called Upwork.com or Guru.com or Freelancer.com. Just look for things that you might be able to do remotely. You could be a virtual assistant. The reason why I mentioned some of these is because when somebody is dealing with back pain, or maybe if they have a disability that might make them feel sick or not so good from time to time, when you work independently, when you're able to set your own hours, then you can kind of work it around your back pain. Because I can see how having an office job, showing up from 9 to 5, if you're in pain, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So my first thought for you is just explore what is possible. Explore what career opportunities would give you the flexibility to set your own hours or work from home. Okay. And then also what I would do is I would start to research further, maybe low income housing, maybe start to look at roommate situations. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have your own place, like a 1-bedroom, a large financial commitment. Think about things that you can do where you're not putting out a lot of financial right away.
Yeah.
Okay? And the biggest thing, all of those are technical, but the biggest thing is when you lived on your own before, what did you like most about it?
I just like being able to have my own space where nobody could be like, oh, like cleaning stuff and everything. Like I kept it to where I wanted, to where it was just, I knew where everything was, and I knew it was mine. I didn't have to answer to anybody. And
there's freedom there, right? So
yeah.
just like our last caller, it's really important to remember and hold right by your side, right in your gut all the time, that feeling, because that feeling is what's going to push you to find that job that you can do remotely. It's that feeling that's going to help you research housing options. Because when we don't have that intensity, that burning fire in our stomach to make that move, we don't. Yeah. So you want to channel that burning desire so that it's as if nothing's going to hold you back. You're going to move, and even set a date, set a realistic date, and have everything start to align that that's the day that you're moving out. Okay. And I'd like for you to definitely stay in touch with us. And, you know, if I have some resources that I can send your way, I'll definitely do that. I'd like to get your information. Rich can get that from you, our producer. And let me see if I can send some resources your way, because I want nothing more than for you to live your life full out in a big way. And you sound like you want that as well.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling in.
No problem.
So we've had such a great show today. I really appreciate all of our guests calling in. You know, life is not easy. It's not a snap. There's going to be moments in life where we're going to be challenged, where we're going to feel like there's no hope, where we're frustrated, we don't know what to do, and that's okay. The good thing about life, though, is every day is just that. It's a new day. So the past is in the past. And whatever you want for your life, it is possible. I believe, though, that we can't get anywhere on our own. Life is not meant to be a solo journey. So turn to those people in your life. Ask them questions. Ask them, how did you find that love of your life? What changes did you make to find them? You know, that's exactly what we talked about earlier with our first caller. Or commit to going out there and working out every day. If you know that you want to feel healthy and that's going to help you to stay motivated, then do that. And if you know that you want to make a life change, like moving out and being on your own, that is possible as well. You just need to strategize. You need to research and come up with a plan of action, and then put that plan into action. Set a date. Make it real for you. Take it from just being a thought and make it a plan. And again, I want to thank our guest today, Kevin Sullivan. Very, very inspirational, from how he overcame his disability and how he went on to thrive and again, do so many wonderful things like president of a fraternity and developing great relationships. Such a great example for all that we all can be. I also want to thank the Living Full Out team. Each week we work hard to bring you this program and bring you resources. And I want to thank Hannah and Mindy and Tony and everybody who has helped us out today with this show. You are worth it in every way, and I mean that sincerely. Each week we're here to motivate you, to move you forward, and Living Full Out is about living. It's about stepping on the court, swinging. You're not going to hit the ball every time, but when you do, you're going to feel joy all over your body. And I want each of you to have that joyful moment, not only today, this weekend, this year, but forever. Here's to you living your life full out.